Hello and welcome to Self-Talk Body Soul channel. My name is Maria and here we talk about all things spirituality, self-development, growth mindset, and I keep forgetting the last thing that I always say. I can never remember it. I don't know why. But you get the gist. I need to write it down on a piece of paper. Today I want to talk about something that came to me as an insight, and it's the idea of trying to be somewhere other than where we are today. The idea is that at any point in life, wherever we are in life, even in the places where we think we will be the happiest, there will be something there that will be dissatisfactory to us. It is that notion that we need to get somewhere to be happy that I think is very distracting to us actually being happy, because we think that wherever we are now is causing us to be unhappy, so we need to move and change and get another job and get another relationship to actually attain that happiness. If you are dissatisfied with whatever you already have and you change your life around and try to change your outside circumstance, sooner or later that dissatisfaction that you felt before, it will creep back in, because you haven't dealt with the thing that is inside that is dissatisfactory, and simply changing the outside reality is not going to change the inside world. It might do it for some time because it's new impressions and new friends, people, whatever, relationship, whatever it might be, but the satisfaction that you've experienced before hasn't been dealt with, and so it's still inside. And even if you change the outside world as you think, to make your life better, that dissatisfaction will come back in. The way it came to me as an insight is I was talking to someone on the phone and they were telling me about, a big change in their life. And right now, financially at least, I'm not in a place where I want to be in my life. And there are a lot of things that don't satisfy me right now in terms of where I am. And so when this person was telling me how their life is like this and like that because they made this change and that change, straight away my brain was thinking, oh my God, I need to be there. That's what I need to be doing. So it was started thinking about how, again, where I am right now is just not ideal and I need to change it right now, physically change my reality again. And then I paused because it gave me so much anxiety, this thinking that where I am right now is not good enough. It made me really stop and realize, why am I thinking like that? I was looking at this person and where they are in their life right now, thinking that, they've arrived in their perfect reality. They're where they need to be because they're clearly so happy and their life has changed. So my brain saw that as their this destination, like they've arrived somewhere, like they found that place where they're now happy, not realizing that everything in our life is temporary, and the place where they've arrived now is only a process, and it's only also temporary, and it's still just a momentum. It's not a place where they've arrived and now they're happy for the rest of their life. It's just a part of their life that they're going through, learning some lessons, and that's not going to stay there like that forever. And also another part to this is realizing that that's where they are right now. Why am I so sure that that's where I also need to be? Yeah, obviously these thoughts, they come in because of maybe potentially previous experience, because maybe you've experienced that kind of life in that sort of circumstance before. So you're thinking, well, I used to be there and I was happy also, so maybe that's where I need to go back to. And that might also be true. But what is more true is that where you are now is where you are now. And you are there now for a reason. You've ended up in that place because of decisions that you've been making, because of life circumstances, whatever it is, but you are now where you are now for one reason or another, and that is the thing that you need to work with. Not thinking in your mind how to escape this reality because I don't like it. Because if you escape this reality that you're in right now out of dissatisfaction, that dissatisfaction will simply move around with you wherever you go. One of my favorite gurus, he's Russian, so I won't mention his name because it won't be of any use to you, but he he gave this example. It was really funny. He said, well, and it was specifically with this the idea in mind. He said, if you think you're going to move and your life is going to change, what you have to realize is, as you're packing up your clothes in your suitcase, you're also packing up, metaphorically, your relationships, your mother, your health, your mentality. You're packing everything that comes with you along with your clothes, and you're taking that baggage, that suitcase, along with you wherever it is that you're going. So unless you're willing to leave all of this stuff that doesn't serve you anymore behind, moving physically and changing your circumstances will not change anything. And it really ties in also with what I'm listening to a lot of Esther Hicks right now. Her teachings are known as Abraham Hicks. They said, don't leave your situation out of dissatisfaction. Get satisfied with that situation first. And then if you still want to leave, then leave. And it was said with the same notion that if you leave out of dissatisfaction, nothing is inside is going to change. Nothing in your life is going to actually give you more pleasure or enjoyment or satisfaction. It's that notion, that anxiety that I personally had, that gave me this insight, that anxiety of, I'm not where I need to be. I'm not where I deserve to be. I should be in a better place in life. That is a very false assumption that I think a lot of people find themselves in, that they are not where they need to be. And the reality is, yes, where you might be may be very, very bad, let's say. But even that in itself, if you ended up in a situation, let's say you're in an abusive relationship, obviously I'm not going to say try to get satisfied in that place. But what I will say is that you need to get satisfied with yourself in that place, so that you finally learn your boundaries and are able to leave that toxic relationship with ease and your heart in a good place about yourself. And so every situation that we may find ourselves in is teaching us something. And even if it's a really, really bad situation, it is like that because you need to learn some hardcore lessons. And unless you do that, the situation will repeat itself over and over again. If you leave one toxic relationship not learning anything from it about your own self, your boundaries, how to differentiate your boundaries from boundaries of other people, if you don't learn that, you're 100% going to end up in another toxic relationship. So it is that notion of wherever you are right now is right for you for whatever reason. And when you become content with that, you can actually see first, maybe you actually find that you can be happy where you are right now, and it was just in your mind you were looking for some other things for particular reasons. Or maybe you will find that actually, yeah, I am satisfied with where I am, but I see an even better life for myself, and so I will go there. So it does come down to only looking within and asking yourself, how do I feel where I am now? Rather than comparing yourself to another person that may be happier where they are right now. We think we need to be doing that. We need to be in that position to also feel that way. But really what we need to focus on is, how do I feel here now? What are the underlying emotions? And do they tend to repeat throughout my life or in different situations of my life? Because you will find that emotions, and feelings that we get about some aspects of our life, they usually mirror in other areas of our life too. Like, you may be just as dissatisfied with your relationship as you are with your career, or parts of either one of those. Or maybe your health is not good, and also, the way you feel about your body when you're not healthy. Maybe the feeling that you have inside about yourself is the same way you feel about when someone is in your space. It's very interlinked, these things. And when you start asking yourself these questions. How do I feel here now? And not just, I'm not happy. What exactly is it that you feel? Maybe you feel like you're never enough, you never do enough. And that's why you constantly feel like you have to keep moving and doing something else other than what you already are doing. Or you need to be someone else other than who you already are. So don't confuse unhappiness and I need to be somewhere else, truly need to be somewhere else, for I'm trying to prove something to someone or trying to follow false motives that actually don't serve you and probably are not even yours in the first place. So to kind of sum it up, I want to say the way I see it is, imagine that there is a path that you need to take in your life. Not need to, the path that you are taking in your life. And let's say you have goals on this path of life. And the reason why most people don't become successful in their life is because they're here and they have a goal or a dream and it's like right over there. And they see that and they think, well, that's too bloody far and I can't jump that. And so they become scared and they just don't even take the first step, not realizing that the only thing you need to do is to take tiny little steps. But the whole process just seems so intimidating and daunting that you see this gap between where you are when you want to be and you just don't want to take that. But all you need to do is trust that every single step that you're going to take towards that, whatever those steps are, whatever you know you can do, whatever you know, whatever is in your current power to do, if you just do that as one step at a time, eventually you will see, oh, well, I was here, now I'm actually here, and my dream is still here, it's still far away, but I've done some progress. And you don't even notice how that happens because it happens in incremental steps. And it's the same with happiness. You might be listening to some spiritual people, influential people, and they might be saying, you need to do this to be happy. You need to, like I was saying in the first video, have a morning routine and have a plan for your day. And the reality is you might not even be there yet. You might not be in the place where you are ready to take this step. Maybe making a plan, a daily plan, is too far for you, because actually at some point in my life it was too far for me. As a thing to do in my everyday life, I was so far away from that because I was struggling so much with my mental health that I couldn't even write a daily plan. But then I was looking at successful people and every one of them always said, you need to have a plan, you need to have a morning routine. And my ADD brain was thinking, I'm just not made of that material. I can't. And so I created that belief that I'm just not meant to be successful in life. And that was a really hard thing to live with because I didn't want to be where I was at the time. It's like there was no hope for me because I thought I can't even write myself a plan, or rather I could write myself a daily plan of a kind. It was not written well, granted, but I could never even try and attempt following it because of my ADD and other things. And so at that stage of my life there were just other things that I had to focus on, and I didn't have the right tools to even, let's take the daily plan, I didn't have the right tools how to write myself a correct plan. And given that I was already anxious about thinking that I'm not gonna be able to follow up on this plan and succeed at that, already in my mind I was thinking, well, what's the point of even doing it, because I'm not gonna go through with it, I'm gonna fail again. And so you can imagine that's not a really good mentality to have if you want to do anything really in your life. What I'm trying to say is that maybe you're also in that place where you feel like I can't do this, like that's too big of a step for me to follow a daily plan, and that's okay. You just need to focus on, what do I feel right now, and how can I make it at least a little bit better. Maybe it's a thought that I can think that is just a little bit easier to think, or emotion that I might try and generate with me that is slightly feels better than the emotion that I currently have. Like if you feel anxiety, maybe I can start feeling anger. Maybe that's something that it feels like it's easier to feel right now. You know, we as a society, we tend to demonize anger. Anger is freaking good. Like, you need to know how to be angry. Yeah, destructive anger is not very good, but if that's all you can, do that for now. You know, obviously don't cause harm to yourself or others, but if you want to, I don't know, like smash some plates, please do that, you know, like let it out. And whatever way you will find to ease that stress and anxiety and discomfort within, you need to move in that direction. Whatever feels better, just go there. And one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, the mind space will just free up a little bit, and you'll be able to take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, and eventually you'll realize, oh, I've reached that goal that I felt it was so unattainable and it was so far away. Yeah, the point that I want to leave you with is, if you see your goal or you feel like that's where you want to be and it feels so far away, don't feel like you have to be there right now. That's where you're moving towards, that's fine. Keep that goal in mind as you're making the steps, but don't put the pressure on yourself to be there right now. Because it's probably not where you're meant to be right now, otherwise you would be there right now. And just focus on, what can I do today? Okay, I can't be there right now. What can I do today? What is in my personal power that I can do today? And at the very least, what is in your power is to change a little thought in your head, to be a little bit more compassionate to yourself, to be a little bit more compassionate towards others. You know, I always, another thing that came to me the other day, I was watching this video of someone interviewing strangers, and how so many people, you know, they say like, oh, I've been abused and I've been mistreated and I've been bullied and I've been lied to and, you know, I've been hurt. And I'm pretty sure there isn't a single person on the planet that hasn't experienced something like that. Some kind of trauma, some kind of pain associated with other people. And it's like, you know, where are all these bad people causing all this trouble? Well, the reality is there are no bad people. We are all good and bad, in a sense that we all can cause pain, and we all have the capacity to create healing. We all have capacity for both. And so maybe, you know, sometimes we need to take a hard, good look at ourselves and think, am I doing the best for others as well as myself? You know, take that blame of others, saying they've hurt me, they've caused that trauma, now I have to deal with it. As much as that might be true, as long as you talk to at least one person in your life, if you have at least one person in your life that you talk to, you have an impact on that person. And so you have to think about, what impact am I having on that person? You know, and I think that in itself can be very, very helpful, because that puts you in a position of power. Because when we feel traumatized and when we feel scarred, we do tend to fall into victimhood, isn't it? And to say that I also have power to affect other people is actually taking some of that power back and saying, I also have an impact, and I'm going to take charge of my impact onto the outside world. Because the trauma that we experience, they don't come from nowhere, they come from others. And you always have to remember that you also have that capacity to hurt and to heal as well. So it's all about sort of directing energy and taking back the power in your life, and taking these incremental steps towards where you want to be, and realizing that taking responsibility, your personal responsibility, is a part of that process of getting where you want to be. Thank you guys, I hope this was helpful. Leave comments down below about what you thought of this conversation and what potential conversations you would like me to have. Don't hesitate to message me. I'm pretty easygoing and very approachable, so don't feel intimidated or feel like it's weird writing to me. Like, honestly, I would love to help as many people as possible, and that's why I'm doing this anyway. So please get in touch. It helps me to know what things to talk about that might be of help. Please like this video if you did enjoy it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one.